On March 27, 2022, Will Smith walked across the stage of the Dolby Theater in front of 40 million people and hit a man in the face. Not a villain, not someone who threatened him. A comedian doing his job on the biggest night in Hollywood. And when Will Smith sat back down, the room stood up and applauded him.
I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
Jim Carrey is not a blogger. For a decade, he was the highest paid actor on Earth. Ace Ventura, The Truman Show, The Mask. A man who spent 30 years at the absolute center of Hollywood power, who knows every face, every handshake, every unwritten rule behind those walls. He was not sickened by the slap. He was sickened by the standing ovation. A standing ovation is not applause. It is a message. It is the most powerful people in entertainment telling Will Smith, "We've got you." And Will Smith has not lost a single thing. Bad Boys, Ride or Die, released after the slap. It made over $200 million at the box office. The deals kept coming. The machine kept running. In the same industry where careers have ended over a misworded tweet, Will Smith walked up, hit a man on live television, and Hollywood rewarded him. That only happens when someone very powerful has decided Will Smith stays. So who made that decision? Everything in this video is documented and clearly labeled. Let's get into it.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Jim Carrey, the man who used to headline those events, who used to be the reason people tuned in, is now standing outside it all, calling it a show put on for people who don't understand what the show is really about. When a man with his history says awards and Hollywood events mean nothing, he is not being humble. He is telling you he knows what those rooms cost. In a documented on-camera appearance, Carrey stated directly that a secret symbol used publicly by celebrities represents what he called a secret society, and that every person who stood up and applauded Will Smith that night was part of it. He named it the all-mocking tongue and said he was there to blow the lid off it. We present that as Carrey's documented public statement. What matters is what it tells us about a man with 30 years inside that machine. He believes the protection Will Smith received that night was institutional, not accidental. He has told young people directly, do not come to Hollywood, from a man who made it to the very top and walked away. That is not someone who got tired of acting. That is someone who knows what the price of admission actually is. The LAPD asked Chris Rock if he wanted to file charges. He declined. He did not do a tearful interview. He did not release a victim statement. His response to Will Smith was, "You and I are done."
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Yes, it happened. I got smacked like a year ago. Last week, I got smacked at the Oscars by this mother. And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ear. Drums, please. But I'm not a victim, baby. You will never see me on Oprah or Gayle crying. You will never see it. Never gonna happen. I couldn't believe it, and I love Men in Black. No. It's never gonna happen. No. That I took that hit like Pacquiao, mother. I took it like mother Pacquiao, okay?
Chris Rock is telling you he refuses to be painted as a victim, that everybody already knows the truth, but here is what people miss about that statement. Chris Rock does not just know about the slap. He has been in those rooms. He has seen those faces, and he is choosing his words very carefully. Rock confirmed in a documented interview that Will had acted out toward him on multiple occasions before the Oscars, whenever Chris didn't give him the warm reception he expected. This was not an isolated moment. It was a pattern. The man who got hit on that stage isn't angry anymore. He's just gone. Quietly, permanently, surgically removed Will Smith from his life. Because some things don't need explaining to the people who already know. This is not insider gossip. These are named people with documented claims. Brian King Joseph. Joseph is a violinist and touring musician who was hired to perform on Will Smith's tour. He filed an active lawsuit on record in court, claiming he witnessed misconduct on the tour, reported it to management, and was fired for reporting it. Not fired for bad performance. Not fired for missing a show. Fired for reporting what he saw. That is a court document, and it is part of a growing stack of formal claims the mainstream entertainment press has been remarkably quiet about. Brother Bilal. Bilal was Will Smith's personal assistant, on his payroll, in the building every day. He wrote and published a book in which he claims he was urgently called to find Will on set, tracked him to a dressing room, and witnessed something between Will and his close friend Dwayne Martin that he says changed everything he thought he knew about the man he worked for. Will's team called it completely fabricated. Jada threatened legal action. Bilal doubled down, said he has evidence, and gave Will 2 weeks to prove him wrong. That is not the behavior of someone who made something up. Jaguar Wright. Wright, who has made a series of industry allegations, some of which have been corroborated by later events, stated publicly that young men left Will and Jada's home screaming. She named Brycer Gray, known as Hakeem from Empire, and Meek Mill in the same context. She alleged August Alsina was the only one who stayed. Jada Pinkett Smith confirmed on Red Table Talk that her relationship with August Alsina was real and that Will had given his blessing. That confirmation is documented. Cat Williams has a specific documented record in this industry. He named Kevin Hart before the receipts came out. He warned about Diddy before the federal raids. He described the industry machine in detail before the lawsuits dropped. Williams has described in multiple documented public appearances, sitting in a parking lot in the Hollywood Hills on multiple occasions, knowing the people who ran a shuttle service, and watching Hollywood's biggest names board buses going up the hill and return wearing Sean John Diddy's clothing line, as if whatever they arrived in had been removed.
Bill came out saying that he'll pay somebody $100 grand to investigate that he has nothing to do with anything with Diddy.
Man, look, you can't take back what your received. That's just like the video that's coming out with him and Will. With Will Smith getting the Will Smith. You ain't heard the Will Smith footage?
Yeah.
Alright, Will Smith. Then they got the Carl Winslow. Yeah, they got a lot, bro. It's a lot coming out, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just keep it to you 1,000.
In a documented sit-down, Williams was asked directly about what he had seen in those rooms and around those parties. He named 2 people specifically. He said, Will Smith knows the story I have not told, and Eddie Murphy knows what he hasn't said. Cat Williams is not speculating. He is a man who has been inside that world, whose predictions have been confirmed by federal court documents, choosing not to tell a specific story about a specific person, and saying so publicly. Brown stated in a documented public appearance that footage exists of Will Smith and Diddy together in a compromising situation and that it will surface. We present this as Brown's unverified claim. No such footage has been confirmed by any court filing, journalist, or official source. Here's the documented pattern across every person who has made a claim in this story. Bilal speaks. Completely fabricated. Jaguar speaks. Silence, then legal threats. Orlando speaks. Dismissed. Cat speaks. Silence. The denial playbook is identical every time. And the machine absorbs every claim and keeps printing money. Charlemagne's documented on-air statement: Will didn't lose a single thing. Bad Boys came out. It went to #1 2 weeks in a row. Nobody turned their back on Will Smith. In the same industry where a misworded tweet ends careers, Will Smith hit a man on live television and got a standing ovation, an Oscar, and $200 million at the box office. The machine does not protect people by accident. It protects investments, and it protects leverage. Jim Carrey told you how it stays hidden. Hollywood does not hide things by destroying evidence. It hides things by controlling what you believe is worth looking at. Here's the documented record. Will Smith hit a man on live television. The room gave him a standing ovation. His box office kept delivering. His deals kept coming. A touring musician filed a lawsuit claiming he was fired for reporting misconduct. His former personal assistant published a book with specific allegations and doubled down when threatened with legal action. Jaguar Wright named names. Cat Williams sat in that parking lot, watched those buses, and is still, years later, choosing not to tell Will's specific story. Jim Carrey walked away from the entire machine and told young people not to come. Chris Rock removed Will Smith from his life without a press conference and went quiet. 3 questions nobody in mainstream media will ask. If Will Smith is protected enough to attack someone on live television and walk away with an Oscar, a standing ovation, and $200 million, what is he protecting them from in return? If Cat Williams watched those buses for years and is still choosing not to tell Will's story, what is in that story that even Cat thinks the world isn't ready for? And when the last sealed document gets unsealed, whose face are you going to see and realize you already knew? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.